Hey guys, what's up? This is not the background I thought. I was thinking, well, it is a dresser. I was like, oh, a fully black background. So in case I feel like putting something up there, I don't have to weirdly contrast it. Nope. The camera is. Nope. Anyways, my name's Theo, and I play middle linebacker. I play linebacker. Hilversum Hurricanes. That's in the Netherlands. That's in Europe. Yeah. So, um, the year's winding down. The calendar year's winding down for this season of football. I've gotten a few questions over the years. None of them recently, because none of the football videos really, the consistent football viewers know the daily vlogs. So they don't realize that sometimes during the week I'm just barfing up stuff about video games. And that's what I used to do before I started playing football. I played a lot of video games. In fact, even while I was doing football, I had a thing called Trek Tuesday. Star Trek Online, mostly. I did talk about some Star Trek stuff. But I'm nerd that started playing football. And since Tuesday is the release of World of Warcraft Dragonflight, I figured we'd make a stupid video about how skills from online gaming can lead to mental skills on the field. Some physical skills, but like the physical skills are like the stuff you do in the gym. That's the chest press and the overhead press and the rows and all that stuff. And the squat. Like, that's the physical skills, and then getting the feet time. Great. Cool. But you also have to have mental skills. And for those, and as a linebacker, there's a lot of things that I've noticed some here in the Netherlands, and I've heard others, other coaches talk about that people and something other players are like they know they're guilty of. So, something specific for linebackers, that a video game like World of Warcraft or Star Trek Online, or I would guess even Fortnite. I haven't really played the game, but this isn't like Sims. We're talking about there's action going on and a HUD you have to pay attention to. The Sims is not an action-packed game, whereas like raiding or being in a heavy PvP situation in World of Warcraft or Star Trek Online is weird. Star Trek Online is weird because you also have to kind of deal with up and down, whereas in World of Warcraft it's all two. So we're dealing with that. Also, fun thing, if you want to look up this thing called Blood Bowl, it's basically orcs and elves playing football. It looks stupid. Anyways, yeah. I think Blood Bowl 2 is the more. Anyways, if you like Lord of the Rings and you like football, it may be an interesting video to watch. I don't know if it's a game and people should probably play. It hasn't been updated. Anyways, so getting down to the thing, I'm rambling here. Something that I do on WoW, and I play mostly range DPS. Mage, Elemental Shaman, to an extent the new Evoker, but I haven't had a good chance to play it much, because the expansion's coming out in 2 days. But anyways, Shadow Priest. So I have to pay attention to, like, health bars and stuff, what's considered here. And I have to see what's going on over there, like what's going on with the boss. Do we have extra ads rolling in? Is there a safe zone on the other side of the boss? It's situational awareness sort of thing. But how does that help as a linebacker? You're talking about like giant constructs of the ancient ones that are charging up floating pillars. Like what's going on? Think about this. As a middle linebacker, you gotta know your gap. You gotta know what the line is doing. Let's say they're stunting left. So that means your gap is moving to the right because that stuff. So you have to make sure that you know that's going to happen. So you have to know the situational awareness of how the mechanics of the fight work. And then you have to pay attention to the boss and what's going on with your cooldowns and abilities. Which, to be fair, you don't really have cooldowns and abilities in football. But you do have a line, an offensive line, like a guard, to read, and you have to see the running backs. Because if the running back bounces out, but the guard is pushing forward, you got to realize that you've got to engage a defensive cooldown. You got to rip or shed the block. Whereas if your gap opens up because your line is shifting this direction and you're going through this gap now, but like the offensive line falls apart in that stunt, and you need to activate arcane power, or blitz, or charge through that gap and make sure that this wide open hole, which may have been intended by the offensive line, gets filled. Because that open hole, even if the running back was supposed to, get a slight toss to the outside and suddenly sees an open gap in the middle and there's no linebacker there, guess what? So it's not that anything you do in the game, but playing the game gets your brain grooved into multi-visual tasking. I can watch my cooldowns. What you guys would see is I'm looking here, that's the boss, and all my cooldowns are here, and I can see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then my fingers can go, hit 5 when that cooldown is up, and I can throw off that ability. But I also have to know that I have to be angled specifically for Arcane Orb or something, and I need to angle my column towards an enemy so it actually hits something, because it's a boulder spell. And like I said, it's situational awareness stuff. And another thing is, if you're in a raiding group, you have to know what your role is. And this is any sort of team building thing with like I said, I'm ranged DPS. In this case, I would be functional as a skill player. In real life, I'm not a skill player. Technically anybody but Line is a skill player, but but I'm not the tanks. I'm not the range. I do have tanks, but I have one of everything almost. Anyways, you're going to deal with the hierarchy. Like, there's your raid lead and the officers, and that would be your captains. And then you'd have and your raid lead would be like the captain of the defense, but then there's the captain of the box area and the captain in the defensive back area. What I would think, and then one of the offensive linemen might be a captain, and say your quarterback, because everybody likes to place those guys up on pedestals. But yeah, sorry, I'm staring a lot at the screen. I'm trying to make sure that my hands stay in focus, because I want to talk right here, but that's near the edges of the screen, and there could be ads or the screen trails off or something like that. I don't know. But that's pretty much that. Again, most people were asking a long time ago when they posted a video about Star Trek Online and World of Warcraft. They're like, how do you see anything on your screen? I'm like, how do you watch a guard and check out the running back at the same time? And the problem is that linebackers that I've talked to sometimes focus on the backfield. They're watching, they're bloodlusting on the running back. That's my job. That's my guy. That's my guy. They don't watch their gap. They don't see an open hole. They don't see the guard coming in at them. They don't see the guard pushing this way and the tackle, the pulling guard. They don't see any of that stuff. They're focused on their man, because it's man coverage. So that's what gaming is allowed to do for me, is that I can watch the guards. And the problem is I'm too busy looking a little beyond than in the foreground. But it does bring up my situational awareness when I need to watch whether the boss has rolling boulders. It's like, got to strafe to the side. Oh, got to strafe to the side. Oh, got to blink forward. Oh, here comes the lava wall, sort of thing. What do I do? A lot of movement in heavy fights. Get your brain. Like I said, it's not that anything specifically in a boss fight is going to do it, but it's this constant grooving of linking things together, because the brain, like that, you're not gonna, you can learn all the plays and see how the game works by playing Madden, but you can get other skills from other ways by playing fantasy or science fiction games. Again, Star Trek Online, not so much, because up and down, and it's starships, not people, but the thought is still there. I will catch you guys, like I said, stuff's winding down this year, calendar year, so the Kroninger game got canceled for next week. Yeah, I'll chat with you guys later.